Casey Master, Master of Questions, says, "Hi, Luke." It's together. "Could you explain the difference between real deal and big deal?" I think the first question that you may be asking yourself is, are these two common? Real deal and big deal, are they common? Yes, they're common. Okay, but how do we use real deal and big deal? Okay, let's start with big deal. Big deal is used for people, it's used for events, it's used for moments in your life, it's used for achievements, and it may be used in the opposite way as well. So for example, if someone is famous in their area, whatever it is, right, you could say that they're a big deal in their area. There's a common movie quote that says, "I'm kind of a big deal. I'm kind of a big deal." Now, that could come across as arrogant. Yes, that's true. It does come across as arrogant. Saying someone is a big deal is fairly common, but again, it could come across as kind of arrogant. Now, events, I think, use big deal more often than people. So we could say something like, if you graduated, you got your master's degree, and you told someone about it, they'd say, "Oh, wow, that's a big deal. That's such a big deal," right? Or if you got an offer from Google to work at Google, you say, "Wow, this is a really big deal. You got an offer to work at Google? That is a big deal." That means it's a very important thing. It's a monumental thing. It's a very unusual thing in a positive way for you, right? It's an achievement. It's an achievement. Okay, but it doesn't always have to be for good things. It could be for bad things. If you've made a mistake, right, you sent in your application to Google, and then you realize, oh crap, I accidentally got the dates wrong on my work experience. Then you might say, "Oh, I hope it's not a big deal to them," right? Is that a big deal? So then we're worrying about if something is important or not. If it is a big deal, then Google will say, "You got the dates wrong. No, get out. We're not going to consider you," right? But saying it in that way, showing my fear and my anxiety, wondering if it's a big deal, might be focusing more on the negative aspect. Now, people also focus on their values when they use big deal. So they might say things like, "Spending time with my family is a big deal to me. Spending time with my kids is a big deal to me. Playing golf is a really big deal to me." That means I value it, it's important to me, it matters to me, it means something to me. We say it's a big deal to me. Now, do we say big deal for things that we just like? For example, someone likes coffee. Coffee is a big deal to me. Well, yeah, in my case, I like coffee so much that I would say, yes, coffee is a big deal to me. But for most things, like, I don't know, going swimming or some other thing that you may just enjoy, it might not be as common to use it. You could, I suppose, is video games a big deal to you? Yes, video games is a big deal to me. Yeah, I guess you could say it, but it's not nearly as common in that type of situation. Okay, now what about real deal? That's the real deal. This is when someone sees something that is the genuine article, right? Or it's truly happening. It could be for an event as well, but it's truly happening, okay? And sometimes people use it to say that this thing is so authentic that is kind of the best version of that. If you watch a TED Talk, and it's a really good TED Talk, and you say, that presenter, that speaker is really good. That TED Talk, that is the real deal. That is the real deal. The real deal means the ultimate, authentic version of what a good talk or presentation is, right? So we often talk about things in a positive way when we want to say something is the real deal. But we also use this when we want to talk about things like products, right? Something that's cheaper, maybe counterfeit or knockoff, or just a cheaper kind of version of this kind of thing. We might say, well, that one's okay, but personally, I'd rather get the real deal. So let's say, I mentioned golf, so let's say golf clubs, okay? Let's say there is a pair of a set, not a pair. Pairs too. A set of golf clubs that costs $150, and another one that costs $450. That is a good brand, like Callaway. Okay, it's a good brand of golf clubs. Now, someone might say, I know that the reviews on this set of cheaper clubs are good, very high reviews, but you know what? I'd rather have the real deal. I might spend a little more and get the Callaway clubs. I want the real deal. Now, does that mean the other clubs are fake? No. It just means I'm using real deal to talk about quality and to emphasize that this thing is the good version of it. So it's kind of similar to the way I used it for the TED Talk, right? It's the real deal. In fact, sometimes we substitute that with the genuine article. The genuine article. That's the real deal. That's the genuine article. Could you use it for just saying whether something is fake or real, right? Yeah, you could. You could. What are bags? A Coach bag, right? If you go to Canal Street in New York City, you see a lot of fake Coach bags, but maybe a real one got in there by accident, and you're looking through them, and the seller is trying to sell them to you for $5, and you look at one, you go, oh my God, this is the real deal. This is the real deal. So that just simply means, it doesn't mean I think it's great. It doesn't mean I think it's better than other things. It just means I think this is genuine. This is a genuine one. It's not a fake one. So it's used that way too. So Casey Master, very good question. I hope I answered your question. Both are complex. I would recommend you look up both of these on thefreedictionary.com to get further examples because that's a great place to look up idioms and expressions. Again, great question. If you haven't already, guys, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe and check out my full courses in the links in the description.